So Gilbert Arenas cooks the living hell out of Charles Barkley because Charles Barkley tried to cook the living hell out of Kevin Durant. Um, Listen, man. Oh my goodness, there's a big language barrier between the old and the young. Listen. Uh, Sometimes uh, the only thing that an older person can give you is, advice and and life experience on some give you something to where you don't have to say, if only I knew then what I know now. Try and give you some life gems that you can carry on as a youngin. You know, get a leg up in life. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Listen, man. A lot of times, we getting older over here with these mega facts, talking to younger people and seeing, we see our frustration build up when we see ourselves in another young person's. We see our ignorance as a youngin in another young person, and as we see that over here with these mega facts, we get more and more frustrated because when we think back to how we was back then, we know it don't matter what a older nigga saying, a nigga not trying to hear it at all, at all, at all. Don't care. What you talking about? Don't care. You feel me? It just is what it is, man, and it's a frustrating thing. You know what I'm saying? Look, man. But that is, listen, man. Charles Barkley is not coming from an. It's not coming from a genuine perspective. Okay, he's not coming from a. He ain't being righteous with how he's coming, man. And that's the thing. A lot of young niggas have to go through, and that's why they not trying to hear another anybody older coming with their skillet out trying to cook them for being younger, trying to do their thing. You know, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. They done seen too many Charles Barkleys in their lives trying to cook their lives because of their past lives and what they regret about them, man. Screaming at a young nigga, even though they not even screaming at the young nigga. They screaming at their younger selves within the young nigga. You know what I'm saying? And it's this that's where the language barrier comes in, man, because you talking, but it can't resonate because you're not talking to the person. You're talking to the damn mirror, a mirror that's not gonna talk back to you, man. All right. Anyways, Charles Barkley, hating. Listen. This is the thing, man. It's Charles Barkley, it's Shaq, and it's Kenny that really started this these lion ass narratives, man, inside the NBA, along with these weak ass, a lot of them, NBA announcers. They perpetuate all kinds of lion ass NBA narratives that need to be destroyed, and they still perpetuate the BS as if people just don't know, you know. Anyways,
Disrespect to Kevin. Kevin's a follower. He's not a leader. He's proven that on all his stops. Booker's a hell of a player also. I think he's going to have to take the initiative and take this Sun team to the next level because, man, Kevin's a hell of a player. I ain't never going to say anything bad about him, but one of you guys has to step forward. He has to step forward. And for me, for Phoenix to be successful, it has to be Booker.
okay, and it's like, bruh, what, uh, it's like the slick sides, you know. Charles Barkley, KD got two chips. What have you led, man? Anyway, let me just let Gilbert. We're gonna let Gilbert do this because it's like we've said enough. You know, I don't want to do too much to Charles Barkley. Gilbert did enough. You know what I'm saying?
You just start calling Charles Barkley Larson Pippen then. Because, I mean, last time we checked, I mean, you was following up Jordan too like a little hoe.
Ooh,
Right? Everything Jordan did, Barkley was there. Right? Barkley gamble. I mean, Jordan gamble, Barkley was there. Right? They playing in the playoffs, Jordan want to do something, Barkley was there. Jordan want to go to Vegas, Barkley was there. Golfing, Barkley was there, right? So you followed Michael Jordan your whole career. You ain't no different than Larson Pippen trying to get some of that Jordan blood. Now let's go back to your history. Wow.
Now this was an ether man. Charles Barkley. You didn't even leave nothing in your career for you to say. And listen, when the people, say leader, they're talking about just somebody who brought their team to a chip. That's what leader means when people say leader when we're talking about sports. Okay, you're not a leader until you win a chip. Period. That's just what it is, man. Okay, so yeah, Charles Barkley. I mean, you're not better than Kevin Durant. What do you think you're doing? You know, you're not on his level, guy. Like, I mean, listen, yeah, he jumped to an egregious team to win a chip. But listen, man, it's hard to stop the train. All right, you got to do what you got to do to stop Gold James. No, we didn't like it. We hated it when it happened. Cooked the living shit out of him when it happened. It is what it is, man. You got to do what you got to do to stop Gold James, man. Even if it's something like that, all right? It's just a testament and show you who the GOAT really is when we're talking about the greatest in human history of basketball. Shout out to Kevin Durant. Shout out to the chef for sticking the middle finger up at the people and saying we're gonna take this guy down and we don't give a shit what you're talking about. You know?
Let's go back to your history, and your history is this. Wowzer. Let me just make sure that I remember this right. You got drafted to Philadelphia, right? He wasn't getting the money that he was promised in Philadelphia, so he didn't even want to be there, right? He did okay. He did well. And then he asked for a trade. Now, he asked for a trade, and the team he wanted to be traded to, which was the team that went to the championship the year before that, which was the Portland Trail Blazers with, what was that, Drexler and them? They went to the championship. That's the team he wanted to be traded to. So he was chasing a ring because, he figured that Drexler can.
And you got drafted to the 76ers or the championship team, man. You know? So it's like you're a loser. Okay? And I mean, bruh, like KD was doing the same shit. I mean, that you did. Listen, the shit shot came around and ruined everything over there with the Brooklyn Nets. Listen, Kyrie, you know, I don't think he knew exactly what the hell was gonna happen. But hey, man, you're in Brooklyn. You set that tweet out. Oh man, after you didn't get the shit shot. Hmm. Oh yeah. It's just a bad situation going on over there, man. What the hell you want? I mean, listen, man, Kevin couldn't play 7 games in a row that whole season, man. I mean, Kyrie kept getting hurt. James Harden, the Bearden was the only consistent thing that they had, you know? Anyways,
Go at Michael Jordan a little bit, not the whole bit, but just a little bit, and then just a little bit, not the whole bit, and then he can add to that to take over the Bulls. So he wanted they rejected his ass because they didn't want no parts of Charles Barkley. So Charles Barkley goes to the
and this is,
Phoenix
hold up.
Suns, which if you
Whoa, 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 whoa. Ain't nobody ever, ever in human history is gonna reject Kevin Durant's request to join a team. Never. It's never gonna happen. Ever. Never gonna happen, Charles. It's never going to happen.
the Phoenix Suns record at that time, they won 50 some games every year, 4 years straight. They were so good before he got there that he was just plugged in, and he went to the finals and won the MVP because how good that team was. So he was chasing a fucking ring himself, even back then. See, we all know about the Houston, right?
And the thing is, bruh, like 10 years ago, you know, people was acting like these same dudes, man, was acting like that's that's just not what you did. On a moral standpoint, you just don't go and try and win a chip. Like this is how these guys was talking. This is how these guys been talking for 20 years plus. Okay, this is what we had to endure and listen to, and a good span of that time believed until we actually, because the hate was just getting so egregious, we had to go and check for our goddamn self and realize that, man, we go and watch these games and we see the refs calling hand checking at least 3 times in a goddamn game every goddamn game. But for 25 years, these guys, that's Charles Barkley, that's Kenny Smith, That's Shaq telling us that there was no hand checking. You could not hand check. You know, like, bruh. I mean, no, they were saying that you could hand check. You know what I'm saying? Like, just lying.
You know about him? Yeah, yeah, because he didn't get a ring in Phoenix when he was chasing a ring in Phoenix. Then he went to Houston Rockets, trying to join that team to try to beat Michael Jordan. And the reason they failed because he was overweight and out of shape. Right, the reason that Houston didn't win, not because because the guy that they brought in, you, was not in shape. Was blaming everybody else for not working hard and being in shape while your big ass was over there on the bike complaining about everybody else. Oh, I heard all the stories. I asked. So when you call somebody a follower, not a leader, let us know which team that you led or was a leading. Right, being the best player on the Suns, you didn't lead. That team already had captains, and it was already established before you got there.
Damn.
Right, you bailed out on Philadelphia, and you wanted to try to win a ring. So whatever you have this grudge with someone like Kevin Durant, you need to look back at yourself and look back at your fucking career, because you followed back then. You was not a man on your own. You had the personality, but there's nothing in your resume that had you as someone who was leading something. You all.
That's crazy. Listen, man. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas, man. I didn't want to make this one too long. Listen, I mean, listen. It's only so much like hypocrisy and hating that that the people is gonna stand for. Charles, like, dude, shout out to Charles Barkley. We like Charles Barkley. You know, when he's not doing all of the hating ass bullshit, man. Like, dude, this is disgusting. You know, KD. He knows what he got to have. You got to have talent to win. Um, KD has suffered a major injury, and he can't put it down like he used to. So he's gonna need more. He's having more and more injuries and things of that nature. Um, but for Charles Barkley to act like he ain't do the same thing, just failed. You know, it's just it's just ridiculous. It's hating. All right, and Charles Barkley, you a lot of people like you put a bad rap on an older cat trying to speak light, trying to speak life and prosperity in a younger, dumber person, man. You know what I'm saying? Because these young, dumb people then encountered too many older, dumb people like you, haters. All right? So, of course, when a young nigga see somebody older that's trying to tell him something, they just automatically gonna have a visceral reaction and just not want to hear it, man, because they didn't heard too much hating ass vitriolic things. All right, you gotta stop the bullshit. You know.